Many are grieving the loss of an entire family in the River Oaks area after Houston police say a man fatally shot his two young children and wife before then killing himself.
I've lived in this neighborhood for 19 years and never seen anything like this. We haven't had these kind of tragedies. We don't have robberies. We have incredible constables in this neighborhood, and but it's very sad. I just shake for the little kids and the family.
One that has been in that restaurant, or even seen them from far away, or even followed them on social media, is going to feel this loss.
On the evening of May 4th, 2026, a babysitter made a phone call that would shatter an entire city. She hadn't heard from the Mitchell family since the night before. No text back, no calls returned, nothing. So she did what anyone would do. She called for a welfare check. Houston police showed up to a quiet, expensive home on Kingston Street in River Oaks, one of the most affluent neighborhoods in Texas. They knocked, no answer. They went in. What they found inside that $1.2 million home will stay with investigators for the rest of their careers. For people, a mother, a father, an 8-year-old girl, and a 4-year-old boy, all shot in the head, all dead. The little ones were found in their beds. And the worst part? Nobody saw it coming. Not one person. Before we go any further, if this is your first time here, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss a case like this one. You're watching Crime Files, and today we're going deep. Now, let me tell you who these people were, because this family was not just anybody. Ty Mitchell, and yes, it's pronounced T, was 39 years old, born in Chicago, raised in Houston. First-generation Vietnamese American. Her family didn't have much, but what they had was food and hard work. From the time she was a little girl, she was in her grandmother's kitchen, in her mother's small Vietnamese restaurant on the weekends, learning how to cook, how to serve, how to make people feel at home. That wasn't just a skill she picked up. That was her identity. Hospitality was in her blood before she even knew what the word meant. She went on to study at the University of Houston. Then she earned a master's degree in human relations and employee relations from Penn State University. She became an HR manager for not one, not two, but 3 Fortune 500 companies in the hospitality and retail industries. This woman was sharp. She was driven. She was the kind of person who walked into a room and made you feel like she had been waiting to meet you specifically. And then there was Matthew Mitchell, her husband, 52 years old. And listen, this man's biography reads like a movie. He got his undergraduate degree from Emory University, studied in France, studied in Italy, studied at Oxford in England. He then moved to London, to Paris, to New York City, working as a journalist and a writer. He came back to Texas, went to Rice University's business school, and somehow pivoted into the pharmaceutical industry, where he eventually became the president and CEO of a clinical research company called the Texas Center for Drug Development, a journalist, a pharma CEO, and then a chef, because after 14 years in pharmaceuticals, Matthew decided to walk away from all of it. He enrolled in culinary school, got a degree in culinary arts, started working in restaurants, and in 2019, alongside I, he opened Traveler's Table. Now I need you to understand what Traveler's Table was, because it wasn't just a restaurant. It was a concept, a philosophy, located in Houston's Montrose neighborhood. The whole idea was to take you around the world through food. Their menu pulled from Australia, Japan, Korea, Nigeria, and beyond. You weren't just going out to eat. You were supposed to feel like you were getting away, like you were traveling without leaving your seat. And that concept came directly from who Matthew and I were as people. They traveled constantly. Morocco, France, Vietnam. Every trip was research. Every dish on that menu came from somewhere they had actually been, something they had actually tasted. 5 years after Traveler's Table opened, they launched a second concept, Traveler's Cart, a fast casual global street food spot right there on Montrose Boulevard. Then in 2023, they started Foreign Fare, a travel-inspired clothing line. They launched it with a full fashion show inside the restaurant. Cocktails flowing, Nigerian suya skewers being passed around, guest try-on pieces with names like the Jet Setter jacket and the flight jumpsuit. These two weren't just running a business. They were building a lifestyle brand, a world, Their restaurants landed on Food Network. Diners, drive-ins, and dives. Beat Bobby Flay. Guy's Grocery Games. In September 2025, just months before all of this, the Houston chapter of the Texas Restaurant Association named them the 2025 Restaurateurs of the Year. I had just been asked to join the board of the association because, as the president Craig Howard put it, they saw such a bright star in her. He said it looked like a successful power couple doing all together. And from the outside, that is exactly what it looked like. I was all over social media. Her Instagram was a highlight reel of a life well lived. Family trips, behind-the-scenes restaurant moments. Her kids, 8-year-old Maya and 4-year-old Max, were everywhere on her page. And she was pregnant, carrying their third child at the time of her death. But here is where things started to get uncomfortable. Just 10 days before she was killed, on April 24th, Di posted a reel of herself and Matthew with their arms around each other. Text appeared on screen that said, "He thinks we will grow old together," and then it shifted to say, "He will, but I'm Asian." The camera zoomed in on her face. She captioned it, "I didn't have a heart to correct him. It was meant to be a joke." A playful dig about Asian longevity. The kind of thing couples post all the time. But after everything that happened, people went back to that video, and the comments are haunting. One person wrote, "The foreshadowing is chilling." Another wrote, "This feels so sinister now." And then on May 3rd, literally one day before police found their bodies, I posted a vlog, a mother-daughter day out with Maya. The two of them going dress shopping at David's Bridal for thy sister's upcoming wedding in Boston. You can watch it, and it is the most normal, beautiful thing you have ever seen. Maya trying on dresses. I try on dresses. Maya rating one of them a 10 out of 10. The two of them sitting down for lunch together, and at one point, Maya reaches over and feeds her mom a bite of her cookie. I captioned it, "The sweetest mom-daughter time." That was her last post, ever. The next evening, police were inside her home. Now, what makes this case so deeply unsettling is not just what happened. It is what nobody knew was happening. Because by every single public measure, this family was fine, better than fine. There were no prior domestic violence calls to that home. No criminal history. Nobody who knew them well described any serious warning signs. The former head chef of Traveler's Table told TMZ he had only ever seen the couple have a minor spat and considered Matthew a great friend. The people around them were blindsided in a way that is genuinely hard to describe. But then the details started coming out, slowly, in fragments. Dice's father, Tui Mai, posted on Facebook after the deaths. He said the family was devastated. And then he wrote something that caught a lot of people's attention. He wrote, "We are devastated due to depression, mental health, and Texas gun law." That was it. No further explanation. But those words told a story of their own, that something had been going on beneath the surface, that Matthew had been struggling in a way that the world simply did not see. There were other threads, too. In February 2026, just 2 months before the murders, Dice's sister Lai Mai had posted on Facebook about her own devastating loss. Her husband, Matt Chun, had suddenly died from what doctors believed was a ruptured brain aneurysm. Lai wrote, "I am still in complete disbelief that I am writing this. My husband, Matt, passed away suddenly. Our hearts are shattered, and this loss feels impossible to comprehend." So the Mitchell and my family had already been shaken to their core just weeks before May 4th. They were already in grief. And somehow, in the middle of all of that, something broke completely inside that household. As recently as February 2026, Di herself had been on Houston Matters, a local radio program, talking about the financial pressures of running 2 restaurants. She said, "We see our restaurants as an experience, and I think that's what sets us apart, and we're leaning more into that. We want someone to feel like they're getting away when they're leaving their home." She sounded clear-headed, forward-thinking, like a woman with a plan and a future. And Matthew, by every outward appearance, he was in it with her. He was building something. He had walked away from a pharmaceutical empire to cook food and see the world with his wife. He had 2 kids who loved him, a third on the way, a restaurant that had been on national television, friends who called him warm and generous. So what happened inside that house on Kingston Street? What breaks a man so completely that he does the unthinkable to the very people he was supposed to protect? That is the question Houston is sitting with right now. That is the question that has no clean answer. Investigators have not released a formal motive. The case is still being examined. But what we know is this. All 4 members of the Mitchell family died from gunshot wounds to the head. The children were in their beds. Di was pregnant. And Matthew took his own life after taking theirs. On the sidewalk outside their River Oaks home, in the days after the discovery, people left flowers, photos, teddy bears, a handwritten note that read, "Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Eripe." The Houston restaurant community held each other. People who had shared meals with Di, who had laughed with her at industry events, who had watched her mentor younger chefs and push for other people's success. They showed up because that is who she was. She was the kind of person people showed up for. Her sister's wedding in Boston, the one Nia and Maya had been shopping for. That will happen without her now. Maya never got to wear the dress. Max never got to grow up. And the baby that was carrying never got a name. So let me leave you with this, because I think it matters. We spend so much time looking at the warning signs we miss in hindsight and asking why nobody stepped in. But what do you do when there are no visible signs? What do you do when the person struggling is a CEO, a world traveler, a man with a full life who smiled for the camera and cooked beautiful food and tucked his kids in at night? How do you reach someone like that? How do you break through when everything on the surface says everything is fine? And here is the deeper question. When someone feels trapped by pressure, by depression, by whatever darkness was closing in on Matthew Mitchell in those final hours, why is the family the target? Why does that pain so often turn outward toward the people who loved him most? What does that tell us about the way men in particular are taught to carry their suffering alone, silently, until it becomes something catastrophic? There are no easy answers here. Only 4 people who deserve to live, and a community that will be asking why for a very long time. If this case moved you, if you think more people need to hear thy story and the story of Maya and Max, please like this video, subscribe to Crime Files, and hit that bell icon so you never miss when we cover cases like this one. These stories deserve to be told, and you showing up here is how we keep telling them. Thank you for watching.